Hi, I am certified health coach Susan Zartman, and I'm a certified health coach with Optavia, and that means the optimal way. And we've been doing our study of Dr. A's Habits of Health. It's a terrific book that really just the whole idea is to experience optimal health, and we're doing one small change at a time. We've talked about a lot of different areas, and I kind of decided we're just going to cover a little bit in the chapters 20 and 21 and kind of wrap up this series. There is more information in the book that is terrific. It's a great resource guide. So I encourage you to hop on if you haven't already. The program has changed my life. I just happen to have a t-shirt on. I'm trying to show you these pictures. 3 years ago, I weighed in at over 300 pounds, and I've lost 137 pounds now. At the time I had these pictures, I was at 125 down. But you know what? It's not just about what happened on the outside. It's what happens on the inside. And not just the confidence, but also healthy. I've had so many clients that when they lose the weight, they see their health improve in a lot of different ways. And we don't make any medical claims, and everyone is different. But when you start getting the right nutrients and you're giving your body what it needs, it's amazing how God has created us, and really kind of changes your whole life from the inside out. So what's on the outside is a reflection of a lot of the times of what's going on in the inside. You know, optimal health is all about being the best that you can be. And being optimal, healthy for life, it's going to look different when you're 20 versus when you're 80. But you can experience a better and more vibrant health at whatever age you are. And, you know, our goal is to continue growing older, but to be younger and to feel better. And I know I feel a whole lot better than I did when I was in my 40s and beyond here. It's like awesome. And you know, a lot of people you think about as you're getting older being on a lot of medications. And yeah, medications can have their uses, but creating health is not one of the things that medications can do. But nutrients and things that we eat, they can make such a huge, huge difference and help you create a thriving, healthy life. And it affects every cell and organ in your body. And he talks, this is on page 245 if you're reading in the book here, that, you know, less than half of the modern diet, which is for a lot of people composed mostly of fast food and sodas that are filled with high fructose corn syrup, less than half have any nutritional value at all. As a result, our bodies begin to crave more food, hoping the next bite will provide the fuels and nutrients we need. Making up for these deficiencies is critical if we are to reestablish our equilibrium in our health. And for me, when I read this for the first time, it was a huge aha. And I have shared this with a lot of different people. And to me, it's kind of like that gambler. I remember being out in Las Vegas many years ago and seeing some folks at a slot machine. They just kept putting the coin in after coin in, after coin in, and they just kept thinking, oh, that next one I'm going to win. Oh, the next one I'm going to win. And that's kind of what our bodies do. You sit there with the bag of chips or the carton of ice cream, and you eat away, and it can taste okay. But your body, you think, oh, I'm just going to have a few. And before you know it, the whole container is gone. And why is that? I just think it's because your body, it wants the nutrients. And it keeps thinking, oh, that next bite's going to give me what I need. No, the next one. Oh, the next one will have it. And we keep going. And all of a sudden, we're at the bottom of the bag. And we may not be feeling all that good. And we sure aren't happy with what we've done. And we kind of go, oh, man, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. Does that happen to you? It happens to me. You know, and it's like, hey, I'm not perfect. I still get into things at times, and I'm kind of learning I still can't buy ice cream and have it here in my house. And I got to be really careful with the chocolate. I'll have really good intentions, but I don't know if you've heard the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. And you know what? I don't want to live that way anymore. So trying to make better choices all the time. And it goes on through here and into that chapter 20. It's a great, great reference. He goes into details about nutrients. He talks about fish oils and vitamins. Talks about minerals, amino acids, and all kinds of other important nutrients, including fiber, probiotics, and phytonutrients. So anyway, for real detailed information about these different things, you can get the book, read it. It's a great resource. but I don't think it's worth going into all those details. When we get about to chapter 21, it's all about creating well-being. And every week our company does a special Habits of Health calls. And last week's call was wonderful. Craig Blanchett led a call, and he actually called it weight loss versus well-being. And so many people will come to us and they'll say, oh yeah, I want to lose weight. You start talking to them, and like most of us, they've done a whole lot of different methods to lose weight, and they've lost weight a lot of times in their life. And you know what? You start thinking, do you really need my help to lose weight? You might be able to help us with some tips on losing weight. Is that really what you want? Well, like Craig said, no, probably isn't just that you want to lose weight. What you really want is to lose weight and to keep it off. You want to be healthy. You want to have well-being. And it's like, he's got such good illustrations. If you're interested, I'm glad to send you the link to watch. It's just a half an hour, it's 26 minutes, and it's really good stuff. And just helps you think. It's the long haul. It is the real thing. It's not just about that number on the scale. And Dr. A here in chapter 21, he says that we are the first generation ever to actually rank the quality of our lives lower than our parents. How did that happen? Well, he says it comes down to our love affair with technology. We've become used to measuring success by our possessions, our house, our car, our income, our position. And as a result, our preoccupation with having the most RAM, the fastest processor, and the latest flat screen TV, cell phone, and all those kind of things has taken us away from what really matters. And what is that? Do you know what really matters to you? Unfortunately, many of us don't have any idea. We look to the internet, to the latest TV commercials, or our neighbor's driveway as if someone else can answer that question for us. What answer do a lot of folks come up with? For many, it's financial security or the resources to be able to buy whatever they desire. But you know what? If you dig a little deeper and ask why they want those things, their answers tend to be more fundamental. They believe that those things will make them feel better, happier, or more secure. Well, let me tell you, money and material goods aren't going to make you unhappy, or not going to make you happy if you're unhappy to begin with. Again, money and material goods won't make you happy if you're unhappy to begin with. And second, in our lives, there's no such thing as security. We want you to create optimal health for yourself and for the people who matter to you. As a physician and life coach, Dr. A has found that if an individual is not on purpose in your life, helping folks to create long-term health is just an uphill battle. But conversely, aligning your mind with your heart's desire is a powerful force that can do much to support a lifetime of health. And that's why when we don't like to just send out information about how do you do the program, because you know what? The how, it's easy. It's really not a big deal. And if you just focus on the how and you just focus on what you're eating, that kind of becomes a diet. That's not what we're about. We are about creating optimal health, about having transformed lives. And we want to help to build your life around what matters most. So we want to talk to you on the phone and find out what's important to you. Where are you now? Where is your health? Where would you want it to be? What could that look like for you? If you can get it in your head what that is, what you want it to be, you will have such a much better odds of keeping it off and having that long-term success. So it goes way beyond just hitting a certain number on the scale or working a certain clothing size or anything like that. And, in the end, what really matters? There was a guy named Richard Leder, the author of The Power of Purpose. He wanted to know about that. He spent over 20 years interviewing people in the final years of their lives, and he asked them, if you could live your life over, what would you change? Well, the three universal truths emerged. First, they would have paid attention more to the big picture. They spent so much time being busy that life just seemed to pass them by. The second thing is they said that they would have taken more risks. They wished they'd have found work that was more meaningful to them and the courage to be better friends, parents, sons, and daughters. To really create and maintain optimal health, you need to organize your life around what matters most. And the third thing that those people said they would have left a legacy. They wish they'd have made more of a difference. Waiting until the sunset years of life to make the discoveries is just about the most tragic realization we can imagine. Connecting what really matters to the fabric of everyday life, it should be one of our highest priorities. Do you know most people spend more time figuring out what they're going to do on a vacation than we do with our lives? You know, I've been guilty of that. On page 266, Dr. A shares his own purpose, his journey to a life of purpose. So I thought I would share that with you. He says, when I was very young, I lived with my mother and grandparents in a crowded apartment in an asphalt jungle of a city. My father was in the military, assigned overseas. My mother worked for an airline, and my grandfather worked as a beat cop. One weekend, as a special treat, my grandmother drove me down to Annapolis, Maryland to see the Naval Academy. I loved to read books about boats in the sea, but to that point, my experience with water had been limited to playing in a gushing fire hydrant on a hot summer day. I fell in love with Annapolis, a historic town surrounded by water and full of boats of all kinds. All the way home, I told my grandmother that someday I would be a ship's captain and live on the water in that wonderful place. I was 5 years old at the time, and no one in my modest family had even been to college. Yet my grandmother helped me set up a piggy bank, and I started saving my pennies. Years passed. As a military brat, I traveled all over the world, including to faraway places like Spain and Japan. Eventually, I went to college, medical school, and on to my medical residency. Upon finishing my fellowship in the newly emerging specialty of critical care from the nation's top program, I began my practice in the landlocked state of Ohio. I became the director of critical care and soon found the love of my life, my wife, Lori. We were married and built a beautiful house on a creek, which, just to give me my water fix, included a 500-gallon saltwater aquarium. A few years later, we were blessed with our first daughter, Savannah, and 3 years later, Erica came into our lives. And they lived happily ever after. Well, that should have been the end of the story, but it's actually only beginning. For the first 15 years, Dr. A says he was fully immersed in taking care of his patients, working 100 hours a week and loving life. But somewhere along the way, stress started creeping in. Jumping out of the bed in the morning, eager to start the day, gave way to hassles with HMOs, belligerent doctors, and overworked, stressed out nurses. He began gaining weight, his sleep deteriorated, and he just wasn't having fun. And to top it off, he was growing more and more frustrated with the little he could do to help people recover from lifestyle-induced diseases, with the knowledge that so many patients were just getting sicker. He wasn't dealing well with the stress, and he started to resent having to spend time away from his family. So, he says, I left my practice behind. Lori and I gave it all up, gathered a few belongings and sold everything else. And with our 1- and 3-year-old daughters in tow, and amid heavy protests from our friends, family, and colleagues, we moved across the country. Our goal was to redirect our efforts to help people create health, and in the process to rediscover our own health. In the beginning, we made no money and were forced to live on credit cards in a small rented house with no one to rely on but ourselves. But then a curious thing happened. Despite the fact that we'd left the trappings of success in our rearview mirror, I started having fun again. My stress level went down considerably, and I began to thoroughly enjoy this simpler, less material life that left me with time to go with rides with my wife and girls. I even shed those excess pounds and started exercising. 7 years later, he had an incredible, thriving life. They're financially sound, and he got time to attend every one of his children's parent-teacher conferences, even in the middle of the day. Of course, he's usually the only father there. And one last thing, he now lives on the water. He has a boat at the end of his dock, less than a half a mile from where this story began 50 years earlier, in Annapolis, Maryland. So you know what? He went after what his dreams were, and that was he quit his job back in 2000 and really began our company, and it's gone through a few name changes and stuff. But here in 2017, it's impacting millions of lives. And at our convention just about a week ago, they honored Dr. A and his wife for having impacted 1 million lives and helping people create health. So, it's what's really determines your internal rather than external measures. Does your life have purpose? Is it going in the right direction? Do you feel complete? And as Nietzsche put it, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. So really, if you know what you're shooting for, you can endure an awful lot. And for me, I'm a born again Christian, and true purpose in life comes through belief in the Lord Jesus Christ and having surrendered my life to Him. He gives me purpose. And part of that purpose was giving me the confidence to actually quit my full-time job in January and to start sharing help with more people. And it's been an awesome, awesome adventure. And I'm so thankful for that. And so I said, Optavia and this program has changed my life, not only on the outside, but on the inside. And I walk in every day and ask Him for wisdom and, who can I help? And it's an honor to come alongside people. And yeah, I'm growing and learning as I go along too. And I'm thankful for the people that started out with me and were some of my first clients. And, I didn't know much, but fortunately, when you start coaching, you don't have to know it all. We've got great, great support. We coach as teams. And so you don't just have to rely on the one person that's near you. Everyone can help someone else. And when you're helping someone else, it helps you. Anyway, thank you so much for allowing me to come into your home. For anyone that's watching this, if I can help you or serve you anyway, please let me know. Find me on Facebook. It's just Susan Zartman, and you'll see my before and after pictures, my profile, and you can connect there. And love to find out, what would health look like to you? How can we help you achieve it? Anyway, have a great day. Make it a great week. Make one healthy choice at a time. Take care. Love y'all. Bye.